Chairman, this is quite a different bill than what we saw in planning and development, which I did not support then, and I have difficulty in supporting this bill today as well, even though it is quite different than what we saw in the previous committee. We talked about a lockbox, which there's no guarantee there's going to be one. I'm concerned about the long-term viability, which obviously we don't know. This is the beginning of a very slippery slope. And then today we are saying we will give 0.5% back, and then nothing to prevent or hold us coming back next year or 2 years from now and saying that 0.5 is not the formula, readjust and retitrate. And for those reasons, I am definitely concerned. When we talked about our budget, I raised my concerns about how we had the Tobacco Settlement Fund, which was supposed to go for Cause A, and instead of going for that purpose has gone into the general fund and not used for what it was intended. And that is my concern here once again. Will the towns get back what we are saying will happen in this bill? A question, Mr. Chairman.
Please proceed, Representative.
Thank you. I see a total cost at the end of the handout we have of the net impact of pilot, mill rate cap, and sales tax. If you add it all up, I see a total of about $330 million. Where will this money, this $330 million, come from? Through you, Mr. Chairman.
Senator Fonfara. This question on the last page, the number of words that come from.
Through you, Mr. Chairman. The $45 million of that will come from the Appropriations Committee budget,
right.
and $367 million will come from the 0.5 in the sales tax that we have authorized under the tax package as amended by this committee.
Representative Srinivasan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. So 45 will come from the pilot, and the 367 will come from the sales tax. So as I see this, that money is coming out of where? Will that be coming out of the general fund?
Senator Fonfara.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Going forward, upon the effective date, the 0.5 will be dedicated to towns throughout the state of Connecticut. So when from the effective date, 0.5, if the sales tax is a total 6.35, 5.85 of that will be the property of the state, and 0.5 of that will be the property of the municipalities throughout the state of Connecticut, and distributed by the formula that you see in this run.
Representative Srinivasan.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. And that's how I read it as well. In as much as the entire sales tax that we will be doing, the 6.35, will not go into the general fund. What will go will be the minus 0.5%. And that is the part that I have very difficulty in accepting, because on the one hand, just about an hour ago, we passed a bill, or we voted on a bill where we raised taxes here in Connecticut by almost $1 billion. 1.1 or 1.2 in 16, and $800,000 in 17. So here we are on the one hand increasing the overall tax on the state, and then saying that 0.5 of what we have raised is going to go into towns at this point in time. But what will happen next year and the year after, obviously nobody knows what's going to happen to the 0.5%. So municipalities who may end up not getting the money coming from the state, this 0.5%. And so though it looks like, as you said very appropriately, as we look at it, every town is a winner. And as my ranking member said, that's too good to be true. And that's my worry, that yes, it looks good today that Glastonbury, my town, is getting almost $2 million more than what it has got. But what will happen next year and the year after with no lockbox, no guarantee, no long-term viability, and we have had the experience, what we created, the municipal revenue sharing account. We have the experience of the MRSA, and that money has not gone back to the towns. And so will this be a repeat of history? And for that worry, it is a better bill than what it was in P&D, but I still have concerns on this piece of legislation as it sits right now, and will be a no vote today, but I will see what happens to it as it moves through the process.